Should we start? Okay, let's begin. So we're going to continue. I think this is going to be the last part on Shema. We've been talking about Shema for a few weeks now, but now we have the big chunky paragraphs to go through. So we'll go through them with Rashi. I think that's the best way to go through it. And then if anyone has any comments or questions, feel free to share. So if it's Devarim, Perek Yud Aleph, starts with Pasuk Yud Gimel, or it's in your siddur. It's both good, Behaya. So Pasuk says, Behaya im Shamo et Yishmo mitzvotai, and it will be, if you will listen, Shamo et Yishmo mitzvotai, if you will listen, this double language, Shamo et Yishmo mitzvotai, to my mitzvahs, Asher Anochi mitzvah Esam hayom, that I command to you this day, to love Hashem, your God, and to serve Him, with all of your heart and all of your soul. So Rashi says, explains, V'hayim shamoa tishmeu, im shamoa b'yashan, tishmeu b'chadash, that if you study what you have already learned, you will tishmeu b'chadash, you'll listen, you'll be able to hear literally to the new, which probably means that you're going to have a new and deeper understanding by reviewing that which you have already learned. And he brings that source for it, that if you begin to forget the Torah which you've learned, eventually you're going to forget all of it. Once you start forgetting, you're going to forget all of it. But the point is that, this Shamo Tishmu means to not only to learn, but to take care of that which you learn, make sure to remember it. And if learning something precious to you, the things that you study, then you want to hold on to it. And also more than that, but it's also going to give you a newer and deeper understanding each time that you review it. So that's first Rashi. Mitzvah Eschem hayom. So Rashi says, "Shayu aleichem chadashim ki'ilu shematem bo bayom." That we're talking about the mitzvahs here, right? If you listen to the mitzvahs, so Asher Anochi mitzvah eschem hayom, that which I, God, command you today. So Rashi says that it says hayom, today, meaning that it should be for you. Shayu aleichem chadashim, it should be new to you. Ki'ilu shematem bo bayom, as if you heard it this very day. Shouldn't think that these mitzvahs, we every single day, I can daven, right? I've known about this for my entire life. No, every single day should be like the first time that you're doing it. You should run with excitement to do the mitzvah. Be'avas Hashem, to love Hashem. Rashi says, Shelo tomar hareni lomed bishvil sheyeh ashir. Don't say, I'm learning so that I become wealthy. Bishvil shekari rav, in order referred to as a rav, maybe that because I'm going to receive a reward for my teaching, for my learning. Rather, everything that you should do out of love. And at the end, the honor will come. This is a statement of Chazal that you shouldn't chase after honor, but honor comes to those who don't seek it. So same to here, that you should be learning out of love for Hashem, and in the end, you'll get all the cover you could ever imagine. You should love Hashem with all of your heart. Avoda shehi balev. So it says this is service which is with the heart. Vizohi, says Rashi, tefillah. That's Rashi. Tefillah kriya avoda. Tefillah is called avoda, literally service. Shenemar elokayach dayan. So Rashi quotes the sources, but the point is Rashi saying that you should love Hashem with all of your heart, and that's this avoda, which means tefillah. And I think we mentioned this very early on when we started talking about tefillah, but tefillah is called avoda, maybe also because it's something which needs work. It needs something which needs a lot of care. That we say every day that we should have iyun tefillah. We should look deeply at tefillah. So, if without working hard on tefillah, it's not going to be meaningful to us. And that's this idea that Rashi's mentioning here, that avodah shehi balev, the work that's in the heart, that's tefillah. That's what we're doing when we dive into Hashem. The last Rashi in the pasuk. He's here. Ella is hardly yachid, is hardly tzibur. So Rashi says, okay, this is both addressing the individual and addressing to the community, that we have a individual obligation, but also a communal obligation. So next pasuk, that I will give you rain of your land at its time. Yoreh umalkosh. Those are two types of rain. Yoreh is the early rain. Malkosh is the later rain. You will gather in your grain, with your and your wine and your oil. So Rashi says, I will give the rain to you. So also, just before we speak out of this Rashi, that rain, especially when you say this, rain obviously is important, and we are supposed to be thinking about the rain, that if we do the mitzvahs, we'll get rain. But rain encompasses so much more than the actual physical rain. It means I view it as sustenance, parnasa, the ability to support yourself, because when you live in when Bnei Israel, especially when they lived in Eretz Yisrael, all they had was the rain. Without rain, they couldn't farm their land. It was that kind of society that everyone relied on the farming. The rain was basically everything. So rain, when you mention here, and also when you mention Shemona Esrei, Mashiverach Amrita Geshem, so it means more than just. I think it means more than just rain itself. It means that God controls everything that we have, and we need to cry out to Hashem, and in Shema, especially when we're saying if we do the mitzvahs, then we'll get the rain. It means rain, but it also means then we'll get parnasa, we'll get what we need to support ourselves. So with that in mind, Rashi says, I'll give you the rain of your land. If you do what is incumbent on you, right? If you keep the mitzvot, if you learn the mitzvot, you keep the mitzvot. I'm gonna hold up my end of the bargain as well, and I'm gonna give you rain. Be'ito, I'm gonna give it to you in the proper time. So says Rashi, I'm gonna give you rain when at night, so it doesn't cause any burden to you. Davar acher, says Rashi, Be'ito b'leili shabbos shakol mitzion bevateim. I'm going to give it to you. He says the perfect time. When should I give you rain? Friday night. No one is walking out. No one's walking outside. Everyone's eating their Shabbos meal together. I'm going to give you rain at the best time for you to get rain. And so again, if you go back to maybe more of a like a relevant understanding for us, that if rain means everything that we need to support ourselves, then not only are we asking for rain, but we're asking for it to come in a way that's mensch-like for us to get it. That's not so tough, not so difficult for us to get that which we need to get support. With a lot of people, it's very difficult for them. So we're asking for the rain, for the mitar to come be'ito, to be coming in at the right time, in a way that's not so difficult for us. Yoreh, so this Rashi is explaining the type of rain. He says here, via nufal sachar driya, so that's very specific to type of rain that falls after the sowing season, which marves arts bezazraim, so that's to do with agriculture. Malkosh, Rashi also explains what that is, why that's different. Okay, be'asafta diganecha. So Rashi explains, so you're going to gather it into your house and not your enemies. If you keep my mitzvahs, you'll be able to gather the grain. So now the next pasuk, Nasati Esa Besadcha Livim Tacha V'Achalta V'Savata. I'll give grass in your field to your livestock, to your animals. You will eat, visavata, and you will be satiated. So Rashi has two explanations here. V'nafsati esav bisat. I'll give you great grass in your field. So he says, number one is shalot yitzarech leholicha bamibaris, so that you're not going to have to lead your livestock to go to the different pastures to get grass, because it's not normal for grass to, I guess this Rashi assuming it's not normal for the grass to grow in the field which the livestock are in, and then you'd have to take the livestock to a different field for them to eat. So he says, I'm going to make it so easy for you to keep my mitzvot. You're going to even have grass in the field, and then your animals will be able to eat. That you're going to be able to trim all your grain all through the winter and even throw in front of your livestock. And even if you stop doing this 30 days before the harvest, it's not going to produce any less grain. Basically, you're going to have so much grain, it's going to be in abundance. You'll be able to even give it to your animals. So this is another Rashi says, this is another bracha. That the bread will be blessed within the stomach, that you may eat and be satiated with that which you eat from. Yishamru lachem, the pasuk continues to sign. Yishamru lachem, beware, lest your heart be misled. Visartem v'avratem Elohim achrim yishtachavim lahem, and you're gonna you turn away and you're gonna worship these other gods, yishtachavim lahem, and you're gonna bow to them. So says Rashi, Kevan shetiyu ochleim u'sveim, since you're gonna eat and you're gonna be full, yishamru lachem, you need to, especially then, you should make sure to be careful. Shelo tivatu, that you're not gonna rebel. She'ein adam mored be'kadosh baruch hu ela metoch v'yas. Rashi says profoundly, nobody rebels against God unless he's full. Right? Once he's full, right? He says that's the time when a person rebels against God. They say, you know what? I don't need God anymore. It's like the famous joke. The guy he's looking all around for a parking spot, and he can't find a parking spot. And he's really getting frustrated. He's late for a meeting. What does he do? He's like, God, please help me. I need a parking spot. I'm gonna be late for my meeting, right? He's like, please, God. And then what happens? Magically, he finds a parking spot. He's like, you know what, God, never mind, I got one. I found one. So it's like when person is, there is Rashi saying that person, when he's satiated, when he's full, he's like, I don't need God anymore. So that's what Rashi's saying. So right after the psukim tell us about that, we're going to be, that if we listen to the mitzvot, we're going to get these rewards. So then the psukim continue and they say, okay, but you got to be careful. Make sure you recognize where those rewards are coming. Who's the one giving you that parking spot? Bisartem, and you will turn away. So says Rashi, lifrosh min Torah, you're gonna separate from the Torah. And because of this, you're gonna worship these other gods. Torah. It's a very important line, especially for yeshiva. That kevan she'adam poresh min Torah. Once a person leaves the Torah, he stops learning Torah. Holech umidabik b'avodah zarah. He goes and cleaves to avodah zarah, to idolatry. Once you stop learning Torah, once you stop being involved with the Torah, a person, says Rashi, person's gonna, it's inevitable that person's gonna leave and start to cling to avodah zarah, cling to other stuff. So that's what Rashi says. Okay. So then Rashi says, Elohim acherim, what does it mean, these other gods? Shehem acherim la'odeim, because they are strangers to those who worship them. So the worshiper cries out to it, but it doesn't answer him. lo kinochri. It becomes to him like a stranger. That's why he says acherim, meaning other strange gods, because they don't have a, you cry out to them and nothing happens. Okay, then the pasuk continues. V'charach Hashem b'chem v'yatar v'shemaim lo yem atar v'yadama lo lo v'abatem me'iram yaretz hatova asher Hashem natim lachem. And the anger of Hashem will be against you, and he'll v'yatar Shemaim. He's gonna stop the sky. Lo yem atar, and there's not going to be rain. V'yadama lo the ground's not going to give its produce. V'abatem me'ira, you're going to perish quickly. Me'ala aretz hatova from the good land that Hashem gave to you. So Rashi says, even that which you plant in it, right? You're going to plant seeds. It's not even you're not even going to get that seed's worth back. You're going to plant a bunch of seeds in the ground, and you're like, okay, what did I grow? You're going to grow so little, you're not even going to be able to get that seed out of the ground. That's how bad it's going to be if you start to worship these other gods. So, in addition to all of other sufferings, I'll exile you from the land that caused you to sin. Then Rashi gives us a mashal melach sheshalach no lebeis hamishta vaya yoshev u'mafkido al tochol yoser mitarkecha shetavo nakila beisecha. So what's the mashal? So he says there's a king. He sends his son to a feast, and he says, okay, I'm gonna send you to this party, but make sure don't eat too much or don't drink so much, because you got to come home clean. We're taking pictures, so you make sure to come home clean, but you can go. What happened? The son, he doesn't really listen. He eats and drinks more than he needs. And the food comes out the other way, and he gets it on him. He gets it on all the guests of the party. So what happens? King comes back. He takes him with his hands, picks him up, him by his feet, and he throws him behind the palace. So that's the mashal that I think that the nimshal is pretty clear, that God gives us food, right? He says, eat and drink as much as you want. Just make sure to do it in, don't make sure you're clean, make sure you do it properly, recognize who it comes from. Don't be gross about it. And what happens? We are gross about it, and God throws us out of the palace. Nehira, so that Rashi says, that he's not going to even give us any extensions. That's the point there. Okay, you should put these words on your heart and on your soul. You should tie them for you on your hand. And they should be tosafos, right? We talked about this. This is mentioned almost the same in Ve'ahavta, that we're talking about the tefillin shal yad, tefillin shal rosh. And Rashi says here, even after you're exiled, though, make sure that you're doing the mitzvos. Hanichu tefillin, put on tefillin, asum mezuzos, put on mezuzos, put mezuzos up, kedei shelo yihu lachem chadashim kishetach theru, so that they're not new to you when you come back. So Rashi's saying, even though I'm going to send you away, make sure to keep doing the mitzvos. Don't ever stop. Oh wait, sorry, skip the pasuk. You should teach them to your sons to speak with them. When you sit in your house, when you walk on the way, when you lie down, when you get up. So Shia is gonna like this explanation by Rashi, because Rashi says, Misha Shabenu de Ladaver. From the moment your son knows how to speak, meaning we're talking about you should teach them to your sons now, right? Teach it to your sons, not your students. So Rashi says both. Lamdeu Torah tivai Moshe sheyazel limud diburo. You should teach them. You should teach them Torah tivalanu. And mikan amru. From here, the rabbi said, "Kishatinok maschal edaber aviv mesiach imo b'lashon hakodesh u'ma'am b'Torah." From the time that the baby begins to speak, the father should begin to speak with him in lashon hakodesh and teach him Torah. Bim lo asachin harei u'ki'ilo kovro. And if he doesn't do this, it's as if he's buries them. Shneimar v'limratem osem es b'nei chamudam verbam. As the pasuk says that you should teach your sons to speak with them. You should write them on your mezuzot of your house, and in your gates. Leman yirbu yemeichem b'mei v'neichem, so that your days increase and your b'mei v'neichem, also your children's days. Al ha'adama, on this land, Hashem yishpa Hashem avosichem aseitzochem, that which on this land that Hashem promised to give to your fathers, laseis lahem, to give to them, kimei hashemayim al haaretz, as the days of the heavens on this earth. Rashi says, Laman yirbu yimechem yimei v'neichem. Says Rashi, imasisem kein yirbu, that if you do this, right, if you listen, if you do the mitzvos, you teach the mitzvos to your children, then your days are going to increase. Being lav lo yirbu, and if not, they're not going to increase. Shedivrei Torah nidrashim mechlal la'apein mikol la'apein lav. Okay, so he says, so Rashi explains, because that's how you can deduce the negative from the positive and positive and negative. So that's the point there. And then the last Rashi on this passage, the Rashi says, laseis lahem, just an interesting Rashi that the Rashi says. It says, if you take a close look at this pasuk, it says, Shir nishpa Hashem, that which Hashem promised la'avosichem, to your forefathers, means Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, laseis, to give, lahem, to them. So Rashi says, laseis lachem in ksivkan. It says lahem, not lachem. What's the difference? Lahem means to them, lachem means to you. So it says Rashi, mikan matzinu lemedim tchias hamesim min Torah. This is the source that we know that tchias hamesim, the fact that God is going to revive the dead, this is the source for it, because the pasuk says very clearly that this land is going to be given to lahem, to them, to the forefathers, meaning they're going to come back alive and get this land. Not that he's giving it to us, he's giving it to them. I mean, hopefully us too. But Rashi says that's the source for Tchias HaMesim. So that's the end of that paragraph. Anyone have any questions, observations, maybe feelings as to why this paragraph is said every single day? I mean, Deborah, you want to say something?
Yeah.